Yeah, bro. Great to connect again and to see you. Yeah, man. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Shot for pulling through. Appreciate your time. So, you are a director, a photographer, an artist. Tell me a bit about, yeah, if you had to introduce yourself, how would you introduce yourself? What do you do? Where you from? Yeah.
So, I see myself as someone who preserves history. Yeah, a storyteller, an artist, someone that, translates anything into a visual piece. It being a story, a subject matter. Um, yeah, basically just a storyteller telling stories, contemporary stories, what's happening around me currently. So yeah, a preserver as well. Because I mean, we are telling stories for them too to tell the history and who we are. So yeah.
That's super cool. Like on a side note, we were talking this morning about like the role that you can play. So I've got kids, and a guy that I was speaking to is thinking about having kids, and we were saying like how you can preserve moments of like a person's childhood or like my kid's childhood growing up. And so like just taking the time to like capture those moments, it like actually goes such a long way, because now my kids can look back and say, oh, this is where they come from, this is how they grew up. It's like something that they can reminisce on or relate back to, which is quite cool. So you say capturing moments, preserving things in history, it's really, really cool.
And most of the time, I mean, if you capturing kids, they won't remember that moment. So you capturing it is like, this is what we're doing on that day. So yeah, so
that's dope. Sweet, bro. How did you pick up a camera, bro? You've obviously mentioned your love for storytelling, and yeah, I'm keen to talk more about the role that you're taking more on as a director and kind of what that has looked like. Where does that come from? Is it part of kind of the way you grew up, your upbringing? You obviously mentioned your dad is or was a photographer. Don't know if he still is.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe you can just tell us a bit. Yeah. How was that cultivated?
I think obviously my childhood growing up, you just placed in like a very, I don't know what stereotype to even go to, but you know how the hood is. So typically you see a lot of things happen at a very early age, and a lot of just like confusion, because like your parents are telling you one thing, but what you're seeing in society and outside is completely different. So you get to a point where you like distinguish like what is right and what is wrong at a very early age. I think so. Yeah, so that has contributed a lot to like me wanting to be a storyteller. I think it's just me looking for the truth more than anything else.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Speak to me also about the business of photography. So as a creative, was that a hard transition for you? I know a lot of creatives, they might be like geniuses when it comes to creating things, but they battle sometimes with like the running of the business. How would you which category would you fall into?
I would say I'm a good hybrid. We do produce a good quality of content, and also the return on investment is not that bad. It was a gradual growth. I think business school, photography school actually helped, because we also focused on like the business side and just running a business, because they taught us that like anyone can take a photo, but not everyone can sell it and make money from it. So I think just keeping a good balance, and just getting people to help you and assist you around, not delegating everything to yourself. So I think that also just helps with the business side. You get to understand that everyone has their roles, so you play according to that game, and there are benefits to
that. Bro. Dope. How long have you been shooting now?
I'd say professionally for the past 5 years.
Okay.
But as a whole, it's been like 10-12 years.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, since I was 14.
Crazy.
I never looked back. Yeah.
Like during that time, what would you say is, I know you could probably mention a few, but whatever comes top of mind or whatever is top of mind, biggest lesson you've learned up until this point?
biggest lesson I've learned up to this point is I think overthinking things and aiming for perfection.
Sure.
It's killed a lot of our dreams. It's killed most of us.
Yeah.
And it has also stopped a lot of us, from starting anything.
For sure.
And just, when I look back and I just think that, no one really cares or no one really, remembers.
Exactly.
So, create the content, post it, even if it's not what you'd want to do, but no one is also trying to look at like perfect content. So that's the biggest lesson I've learned, because it has also stopped me from doing a lot of things. Trying to be perfect, trying to get a perfect shot.
Exactly.
That's the biggest lesson I've learned, is not to be perfect and just to keep the ball rolling.
100%. How have you found the balance between like Khaba as a brand and Khaba's work? You know what I mean? If you had to like make that separation, because you obviously want to share all the type of work that you are creating because you want to get booked for jobs, but then you also want to try and preserve your brand as a person, because currently like the business is under Artvillain, so how have you navigated that?
I think and that's what I've learned to do recently, is to like kind of separate myself, and that goes back to like building and going from a one-man business to like a whole team.
For sure.
So I've learned that recently to try like create two separate entities, just so that you don't revolve your business around you.
For sure.
Or your business doesn't revolve around you. Now if I'm not around, nothing's gonna be done.
100%.
So I've learned that recently, just to create maybe like two entities, because I am an artist at the end of the day, and I am passion driven. So that can also mean that certain projects I might not want to do in regards to like my heart, and is it like passion worthy, because it could be good money, but
for sure
sometimes your passion is just not there. So learning a good balance between or just rather creating two separate entities, so that you don't shut anything down.
100%.
Just because of your preferences, I guess.
If you had to look back, like someone who's just starting out, how would you tell them to go about it? Would you say like first build a personal brand, or first build your business and then?
I think first building your business, you wanna just always remind people what you're about. People shouldn't be confused as to, do you create content for yourself, or do you create content, is it you shooting?
Exactly.
So I think just letting people know what you're about first, establishing that message, so that people don't also get it confused, like, do we call Khaba for influencing, or do we call him to create content? So I think the brand stuff and creating identity for yourself comes later, but you just need to put into the culture first.
For sure.
Before, anything else.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool, man. When obviously you've built like quite a big brand online, when can you point out like a specific time period when you started building traction? Like what kind of increased your growth, or started the growth with regards to the work that you started sharing online?
I think with more redundant things became, I started noticing that I've been doing this before. I did this last week, I did this last month, I did this last year, so I don't think the rates should stay the same. So I think that has kind of like helped me gauge, sort of navigate that. Okay, so last year it was 500. This year, can it just be, because I've also improved as a person, as a photographer. I've invested in more skills, in learning. So I think as the more things become redundant, the more you see how good you are, because repetition is good.
Yes.
So that has kind of helped me to, like, take up the prices, bump the cheese up, because, now with the past event, this is what I did for that other, event, and that's the traction that they got. So you are able to identify your value, with
Based
the more
off of
you,
that,
the more you do it. So I think, that has basically helped me gauge in terms of like prices. And it's very tricky, because it's like, it's very subjective, art is very subjective. I can say that this glass is worth 20,000, or I can say it's worth 20 rand, and there's nothing you can do. So that's just the nature of the business,
for sure.
So you just learn to work with that, and I mean, just trust and believe. Put your price to whatever that you do, and
100%. Figure it out from there. See what like gets traction.
And what doesn't.
100%.
And you learn from
figure
that.
out, for sure. For sure. That's cool, bro. Up until now, bodies of work that you've been a part of, or that you've created yourself, maybe solely, what's been kind of a standout for you, like that you've really enjoyed?
I think just, my contribution to the culture. I think, hearing young cats come up to me and say, you actually inspired me to start this. You made this look cool. That on its own is just, probably my best project, because I was that kid, chilling there, getting inspired by someone that decided to do something for the culture. So I think, it's an ongoing project, whatever I contribute to the culture. It has changed my life as well. So, I could never, forget that and overlook my contribution.
100%. That's super cool, bro. That's super cool. I'm just thinking about, if I look back, and I've obviously been following your journey for quite some time, seeing the kind of work that you've been putting out. Obviously, one of the standouts for me was like the work that you started doing with Foka. How did that connection actually happen? Like, how did it come about?
I mean, at that time, I was at a very like strange place. I was stuck between an agency, and I don't want to work for the agency anymore.
Sure.
So I was.
Were you like actually working in an agency, or just like contracted to the agency?
I was working in the agency.
In the agency.
Okay. I was on a retainer. I was on an agency. They were taking their cuts, through my gigs and stuff. But there was just like some personal issues that I had with the people around.
Yes.
So I ended up just choosing my own path. And as I said, I was in a very weird place, because I do have this corporate background.
Yes.
And I sort of have contributed to the game or the culture. Yeah, it all came together.
Crazy.
And I mean, I just took a dice. I sent him a DM. I said, I really like what you're on. Let me know if we can. I think I saw him at an event.
Yes.
And I took photos of him, and I was like, yo, I'm down to work.
For sure.
And I never knew he had, these big plans for me, and he was about to start a whole trajectory.
Yeah.
I never knew that. So it all came together.
Crazy.
And we ended up traveling about 20 countries.
It's insane, bro. So the timing was right, like what you were reaching out for and what he was kind of wanting to do.
Yeah. I was just in a like it all aligned.
100%. And the fact like you had the skill set he needed for what he was wanting to do.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man.
So it just like, it was a puzzle block, So even prior to that, I had just gotten my first camera, so I was sort of like stable to say, I'm a full starter pack now.
For sure.
And I can do this. I've got a laptop, so I'm mobile.
You're sorted,
Yeah, I'm sorted. So I took the dice. I said, let's figure out. Went on a few trips, Rustenburg, Northwest, and then, next thing is Terminal A.
Terminal A.
Just
sure.
like that,
Yeah.
great artist to work with. I don't think I've ever worked with anyone like him, you know. Yeah, super cool. He's willing. It just felt like I was working with an upcoming artist again, because they are more agile to try anything out.
Yeah,
you know,
they're open to it.
they're open to it. So yeah, his impact on, like, you know, working with people, like, changed my whole perspective. Yeah, just seeing the world changed my whole palette, you know. I came back to South Africa and I said we need to start accommodating for the globe, because you know, you can sometimes feel like you're in like a bubble.
100%,
you know, we get comfortable with making it here in South Africa. And I mean, the entertainment industry and the showbiz, that side is on a different level.
100%,
you know. So I mean, I came back, I was inspired by everything. Yeah, I mean, I just working with also an artist, like, I feel like they take you through like different types of photography. I mean, you get to do studios, you get to be on music video sets, you get to be on TV sets. You also just get to experience like everything on basically the highest level. So yeah, I'll always be grateful for that opportunity. And I mean, it's put me where I'm at right now, you know. And yeah, just shout out to him.
For sure.
Yeah.
Foka.
Yeah, shout out to him. That was really
Awesome,
dope.
man. Awesome. Let's chat a bit more about your team. So you said Mzansi's there cooking. Who else is forming part of your team, or are you wanting to pull in?
I mean, there's quite a few people we have on board. But I mean, it's just also working per project or per campaign.
For sure.
Yeah, just building the ship as we sail.
100%, yeah.
But yeah, just filling in that void for me, because I don't remember anyone being there when I was still starting out. So just being there for, you know, anyone who's trying to start out means a lot to me.
Definitely, bro. That's so good.
Yeah, just, you know, having that guidance, you know, I know where it could take, you know, potential, you know, creatives. So I've really de-attached myself, because as an artist you can like tend to become selfish and keep everything to yourself.
Definitely.
And so I've learned to, you know, think in a place of abundance.
For sure.
You're an artist, you are blessed with ideas, so you know, you're here to give them away.
100%.
You know,
100%.
So yeah, I've learned to de-attach myself from this craft, and I think that's also the tricky thing about scaling up is that you will have to give up your IP. You will have to give up all the things that you've learned, which most of them is like priceless, you know, and you had to go through that to learn. It's not like I went to go get it and, you know, so, yeah, just letting go of, you know, just being in control, because I feel like as an artist or any creative, like we feel like we need to be in control of everything. And also, you know, I've learned to understand that we are all different.
For sure.
As much as you can have the same taste as me, the same equipment as me, you know, we're not all going to take out the same results. So
100%.
That has given me a sense of relief, you know, and it's given me like more motivation to believe in upcoming creatives and, you know, helping them find themselves.
For sure. I think that's massive, bro. Like you've mentioned, you know, we all get to a place somehow through the various input that we get or don't get. You know, so to have someone who does invest in you and who is generous with like their IP and, you know, all the things they've had to learn the hard way, it's massive. But I think it's so good because like it's empowering someone else to step into their gifting, which is incredible. So that's awesome to hear, man. I'm keen to see how the team evolves and grows and kind of the work you guys start putting out there, man, as a team, not just from, you know, your perspective. Because we're obviously familiar with your work, bro. So keen to see how that unfolds. If you could shoot with anyone, or shoot, let me say, not if you could shoot with someone, if you could shoot someone on the other side of your camera, and you could choose someone now, who would you want to shoot with, and why?
Can we mention like, you know, people that have left us? I mean, I just love icons. So, and people who are also like photogenic. I mean, you look at people like Tupac, he's got a whole archive of images, and it looks like he was quite intentional of what he was trying to do. The late Ricky Rake as well. I'd die for any moment. Rest in peace to him. Any icons, man, anyone that I looked up to. There's nothing specific, or no one specific, but anyone iconic.
And specifically, it sounds like more in the music space.
More in the music space. I grew up in like a musical house. I love music. I love musicians. I love working with musicians. Just creating that bridge. Translating the music into a visual piece.
For sure.
What
draws you to music? Like the fact that you've obviously, taken an interest specifically in musicians and the lives that they live, and you are passionate about music. Like, where does that come from? How does that all link together?
I think my background again.
Dope.
Music was played every day.
Specific type?
Just old school music.
Okay.
Yeah, probably some that you're also familiar with. Nothing specific. Is this where you're trying to get to, like, what genre that I like now?
No. Just interested, bro. Just interested, like, kind of where it started, or what started cultivating that desire for.
I mean, my mom just always played music at home. And I don't know, maybe just also having dreams of being a musician one day.
Okay, so that was in the pipeline, yeah?
Filling in that void through photography.
Dope.
And kind of also finding a space also in the music industry where I don't have to be a star, or I don't have to be a drummer, or I'm still in the music space. I'm still consuming the energy. I just found a different way to
100% be a part of
it.
Yeah, for sure. That's super cool.
And that's one thing that I'll always be grateful for with the brands that I work with now, because I did leave the road and I'm not permanently there, but with the brands that I work with, they constantly put me in spaces where music, and I still see my favorite artists.
For sure.
And shout out to the brands that have allowed me to connect in the music space again.
Amazing, man. Amazing. That's dope, bro.
That's cool.
Legacy you'd want to leave behind one day?
Preservation, more than anything else. Just for someone to look back and understand who we are and where we come from. That can also contribute a sense of identity within them and what they're trying to do. More than anything else, just preserving.
100%. That's dope, bro. That's dope. And your style, bro, your aesthetic, where does that come from? What is it influenced by?
I think it's a good combination of being this internet kid in like the hood, because I wasn't really like, I didn't really gravitate towards like the violence and the gang stuff that is happening around me. But the internet just, I was always interested in what's happening in the world, in the globe. So I think it's just that mindset of not staying within your space, and just, being cool with, being inspired by the Western culture, but still remembering that you are South African.
For sure.
So I think just a combination of both. Western culture and, Africa.
Okay. Yeah. Super cool. Sweet, brother. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, maybe like peers. Is there anyone that you've been like keeping an eye on that you see is doing like some really cool stuff, or that you've loved their involvement in the last year or two?
Actually, I've started like, I've sort of created like a circle within the photography space. So I get on a call with like a few photographers, and then we just like speak, and they tell us what they go through, and we keep it quite transparent in terms of like, how much did you guys make for this, and how much did you guys charge for that? More than anything else, it's purely based on empowerment, because as creatives, we are not unified, especially in the space. I feel like a lot of us are just like, oh, Dominic is doing his thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Kind
give
of
you dabs.
everyone.
Yeah, and then
for
keep
sure.
it moving. But
Yes.
in terms of the challenges that you face, that I face, I mean, you know, we all dance to the same music, so
100%, bro.
we all know each other's struggles. So yeah, shout out to the people that have been like, you know, trying to keep this circle.
Dope.
Shout out to just gonna name a few people.
Cool, go for it, bro. Yeah.
K Paparazzi.
Yes.
We've been communicating a lot.
Dope.
Tabs the Storyteller. Optical Illusion.
Yes.
So yeah, we've just like created the circle where we just like speak, it being on Instagram Live.
For sure.
Just creating that society amongst us. Because I mean, there is no creative union that we have.
Exactly.
Where we can't even protect ourselves. I mean,
sure.
Whatever you going through, it's you know, Dom's problems or you know, it's my problems.
It becomes like isolated.
Isolated in a way. So just creating that sense of like unity, and it's been interesting just to see how other people play the game.
For sure.
And we are like completely different to,
Crazy.
You know, we could be all shooting in the same space, but how we move, how we operate, how we shoot is
different.
Completely different. Yeah.
Okay.
So that has been interesting.
That's super dope.
So yeah, just creating a union amongst us.
For sure. Where did that come from? Whose idea was it to just kind of happen naturally, or was someone like, hey man, we need something like this?
So long story short, I was just like having a bad day, and then like one of the photographers called me, and I was like, actually, you guys have never called me for anything, or like any bookings that you guys have, or anytime you guys needed help. You know, I'm always the one reaching out to say, hey brother, are you available for this? I've got a metric dance. This is what they're saying. And then Tabs, he took it serious, and then he was like, okay, then we'll start calling you every week, and then, you know, and then from there on, K Paparazzi joined. He started speaking about his things. He was going through his own things, and I was like, oh, you're also going through that? I'm also going through that. So that bond kind of came alive through that.
Okay, super cool, bro. Yeah, I think it's needed, man. I think it's helpful to have other guys that you trust firstly, and that, you know, are at similar stages and going through similar stuff that, you know, we can bounce ideas off of and make sure that we're all growing. Otherwise, yeah, man.
Yeah, we can just all look at each other and we could just be all dying and no one is saying anything.
No one's actually saying anything. Yeah, 100%, bro. That's
but it also came from just scaling up as well.
Yes.
So when I couldn't make it, I'd have to refer the client to someone else. But then again, like, I'm probably not cool with that person, so it actually forced me to like, you know, have his number as well. You never know when you might need him. And also just their level of work is also exceptional.
Exactly.
You know, if they are doing something, I'm more than happy that they're doing it, because I know that they're gonna do a great job.
100%.
So, yeah, it sort of just all came together.
Dope
from that.
Dope. Very, very cool, bro.
Yeah.
Gear that you're currently shooting on?
Gear, all Sony, Sony A7 IV, FX3,
very cool.
A7S3. Yeah, I'm a Sony boy.
Okay. Have you always shot on Sony?
No. I've had a weird transition, man.
Yes.
I first started with Canon.
Cool.
And also just not having a camera.
Yes.
When you're first starting out, you just trying everyone's camera.
Sure.
So I'd borrow from different people. This person had a Canon.
Whatever's available.
Whatever's available.
Get the job done.
So I kind of went through that.
For sure.
And then I think with Sony, it happened because I was also starting to do a lot of video work.
Cool.
And the slow-mo, I just couldn't get over it, you know. So I was just like, good hybrid. Let me just get a Sony. I can do a bit of both.
Dope.
Yeah.
Had to sell a kidney as well to buy all that gear.
I mean, if I had to tell you guys a story, but it's a story for another day. I mean, it's more than like 10 Limpopo trips that I had to.
That's wild.
You know, and look now, you know, in a nutshell, it was more than 10 Limpopo trips, but
insane, bro.
It was worth it.
No, for sure, dude, for sure. I guess, going forward and to build, you know, it makes sense. It's a good return on investment.
Very good.
But that initial outlay is steep.
I mean, I still have the guy right now, so it says a lot.
For sure.
It says a lot.
For sure.
went the world with the guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Dope, bro. Dope. One more thing, maybe to wrap up. You mentioned obviously you went to photography school. How valuable would you say like school? Because there's a lot of people in our industry it's self-taught. Like I'm,
Shout out to
for
them.
example,
Yeah.
I'm self-taught. So, but I'm always interested people who have actually like studied it versus people who teach themselves, obviously with information that's available as well as through practical experience. And I would imagine, each has its role, but I'm always interested to find out like how valuable would you say like photography school was?
I mean, it's a bit tricky for me to speak on that because even when I went to photography school, I sort of, wrapped my head around the whole thing. Maybe not on a technical level.
For sure.
So yes, school did contribute on a technical level as to knowing your aperture, knowing your ISO, knowing how you use flash. Yes. So, I found myself doing these things but not knowing what I'm doing.
Okay.
So when I went to school, I'm like, oh, so I've been doing a low exposure the whole time.
I see. Okay.
Know the name to that.
Yes.
So the technical side, yes. Also, I had a good lecturer who was very honest. So critique, just basically, as subjective as this craft is, there are some like techniques where critiques where that will make sense. I mean, if a photo's blurry, if there's a whole object or like something in front of your subject.
Yes.
So I really learned how to take critique, and also just like hearing it. I mean, it's always like cool watching a YouTube tutorial and that person inspiring you, but if someone is like speaking with you from a first-hand experience, it's always different. I don't know how to explain it, but my lecturer was like a wedding photographer, and they were shooting like 3 times a year, and that was it.
Crazy.
So you also learn how to like create a niche, as in like specifying on do you do portraiture, do you do animals, do you do
exactly. Yeah.
So just finding yourself is very key. But I mean, I can just say it's different compared to like looking at a YouTube video.
Yes.
I mean, it was like, I think it was like 9 months. It was a 9-month course.
Okay.
And I learned a lot. By the end of the course, I had to pick what type of photography I want, which was like portrait photography. I had to submit a whole portfolio that I was marked on as well, based on the techniques that I've learned. So more than anything else, technique and also like business photography.
Cool.
So knowing how to charge, knowing what to charge for.
That's valuable.
I think that also it really takes you up to the next level.
100%. Yeah, for sure. Just giving you like, I guess, those fundamentals you need to like get going. Obviously, you'll learn a lot as you go through, situations. But that's massive. I know I said last one, but maybe this can be the last one. For our industry, what are you hopeful for time to come, or for the time to come?
I guess everything is happening on its own. I'm happy that it's just not the 5 of us anymore.
For sure.
Let the game grow. Let us accommodate for the globe. It took me close up to 5-6 years just to get out the country.
Sure.
And nowadays it can take, you shoot for a year, the following year your passport is ready and you're traveling.
Exactly.
So I'm happy for that growth.
Yes.
A lot of cats are coming out. The internet is allowing people to also it has like kind of like broken the monopoly. Because in the previous years you had like agencies that were like taking all the big budgets. So now it has kind of created like brands know like if they want high-end stuff and if they want big production, they'll go to RCC. If they want me and my small little team, they'll come to me.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
So
a little bit more room for
there's a cut for everyone.
Cool.
So I'm liking where the game is going.
For sure. You think we're going to start to see more and more of that?
Slowly the internet is also allowing, and also, as things have changed, the progression of things is now faster.
Yes.
So, and it's also pushing people just to be more different. Like,
Sure.
now you need to have a spark. You need to have, because someone else is doing it.
Exactly.
So the content has become more refreshing.
Exactly.
A photo shoot won't only do it now. Now you need a video. You need some sort of something.
Sure.
More. And photography has also like become a little bit accessible, which is good and bad. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Dope, bro.
I'm happy with where everything is going.
100%, brother. I think that's good, man. We can call it there.
Call it a wrap.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me,
bro.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
That's good.